Hi all. Today we'll study about DBMS Lab second program. Here this the question is given. Consider the schema for order database. So we given three tables, that is salesman, customer, and order. Three tables he given, and he listed the some attributes also. That is salesman ID is there, salesman name is there, city is there, the commission is there. Okay, so how much commission he will take it, in which city he belongs, his name, his ID. Then customer, for customer one ID is there. Okay, customer name, city, so grade, and which salesman, from which salesman this customer is taking the orders. That ID, salesman ID is there. Okay. Then for the orders, order number is there, purchase amount, order date. Okay, so customer who is taking and salesman who is giving it. Okay, so those IDs are there. So this is the three tables he given. So for that he given some 5 queries. Okay, so what are those 5 queries? One by one we'll study after creating the table for these things. Okay, so here we saw first one, salesman. Okay, so we have salesman ID as a underline, that is nothing but we have to consider as a primary key. Okay, so here we don't have any dependency, so directly we can create first table as it is. Then second one, this is a customer. Okay, so here also actually we have one dependency, that is salesman ID is there. Okay, so salesman ID, so first we have to create the salesman ID, then customer table we can create it. Then for orders we have dependency for these two things, that is customer ID and salesman ID. So after creating these two tables we can create orders table. Okay, so while creating these tables I have to consider as this orders number as a primary key, here customer ID as a primary key, here salesman ID as a primary key, three tables. And here we have to take care as a this salesman ID is referred form, salesman table, salesman ID this one. Okay, and here customer ID is referred from customer tables, customer ID. Okay, in orders tables. Okay, and in orders tables this is salesman ID, whatever is there, this is referred from salesman table, salesman ID. So these things we have to take care. Okay, so other than that we don't have any constraint. So normally, so whatever corresponding data types will come, so those will take it. For the name, that is a varchar, will take it, city also varchar. Okay, so here we have as a order date. Okay, so date data type we have to take it. So remaining whatever required, there is a integer or varchar, those kind of things we can take. Okay, so here already I have listed. Okay, so those things, that is something what here we're giving as a one by one commands. Okay, so first one is create table salesman. Okay, so salesman, for that salesman ID whatever attribute he given. Okay, so whatever attribute he given, those things we are listing it here. That is salesman ID we are saying as it's a primary key. Okay, so name, that is a varchar. Okay, so 20 or 10, any number you can give it. So normally we will prefer as a 2025. Okay, so here varchar 20 we are giving, city, that is also varchar, commission is nothing but commission, how much he will take it. So that is in terms of float you can give, so are giving as a float. Okay, or you can give as a decimal, that is DEC bracket, so some number you can give it, number comma one more number, there is how much floating point number you can take after decimal point. So those things also you can mention it. So whichever data type you are comfortable you can give it here. Okay, so it should be numeric one normally. Here then second one we are giving as a customer. Okay, so customer table, in that customer ID is a primary key. Okay, then customer name we are taking. Okay, so that is varchar, city varchar, grade integer. Okay, so then salesman ID, so this one we are referring it, so we have to give this one as a references. Okay, so from where you are referring, that you have to give it. Okay, so this is the data type, sorry, this is the attribute name salesman ID in this table. Okay, which references from which table, that is a salesman table you are referring it, a salesman tables, salesman ID you are referring it, this attribute, so that you have to give it. So then last table, that is a orders. Okay, so here order number we are giving as a integer. Okay, so here given as this one only as a primary key order number. Okay, so this is primary key, so we are listing as this integer, this is a primary key. Then purchase amount, so it may be a float, or you can consider the whole number, that time you can consider the integer. So we are considering here this is the float. Commission, that is, it may be there as a fractional part, so better consider this one as a also float only. Okay. Then order date. Okay, so data type are giving as a date. Okay, then here we are giving the customer id, which refers from customer tables customer id. Okay, so that is customer id attribute references customer table customer id. Okay, so then here salesman id is there, so that salesman id is references from salesman table salesman id. Okay. So whatever he given these three tables, those we have created. Okay, so now we have to insert the values. Okay, so while inserting values, what are things we'll do it. Okay, so first we'll create this one, run it. Okay, so first one I executed, that is salesman table I have created. Okay, so like that I will create customer table also. Here we are creating the customer table. This table also created. So third one, orders table, that also created. Okay, so three tables we have created. Okay, now we'll insert the values. So here while inserting one by one, whatever rows are there that you have to insert. So these values, okay, so whatever you're comfortable, like 100 or 101, like that you can give it, no problem. But whenever you are inserting inside a salesman, so salesman id is referred wherever those all things you have to give it properly. Okay, so normally we prefer giving 5 rows for each table. Okay, so those five rows I have given. Okay, so on top of that, if you saw here, some n number of things are given. Okay, so that is something, but more than 5 rows are there. Here I think 10 rows are there. So why we given 10 rows is because some queries whatever he asked, to fulfill those things, okay, so we required extra rows in our database. So starting you can give five things, and then depending on these queries, if you got answer as a no row selected, then you can insert it, or initially only you can insert it by considering reading all these things. Okay, so here whatever things are there, okay, so inserted. So one by one we'll give the first one. So here actually this first one is attribute is integer type, so 1000 is given. Second one is varchar, so in single quote we given as a raj. Okay, so in third one city, this also varchar, so we given this one as a, okay, so we given this one as a Bangalore in single quote. Okay, then fourth one, this is nothing but float was there, so just numeric values 5 I have given. Okay, so run it. So like this you have to insert the some n number of values. Okay, so I'm inserting for the first row, oh, sorry, first table. Okay, so some values we have inserted. Okay, so the first one Raj we have inserted, then second one Ravi. Okay, Mantesh, Pavan, Deepak. Okay, so some customer salesman ID also we given. Okay, so these are the 5 salesmen who have created, and their commission also we listed, their city also we have listed. Okay, so like that now we have to insert for customer. Okay, then orders. Okay, so here while inserting customer you have to take care, so this number whatever you will give, so that is last one, because here if you saw customer table we have as a last attribute as a salesman id. Okay, so this salesman id whatever you have to give is nothing but that should be there in salesman table, then only you can enter it. Okay, for example here first one will give, here first one is created. Okay, suppose, so now just I will change the here id, that is I will make it as a 5000. Okay, and I will give whichever is not there here. Okay, so we inserted 1000, 1001, 2, 3, 4. Okay, suppose if I give one as a 6, okay, which is not there in salesman table. Okay, so what will happen? Okay, so there is something what we are getting the error, that is saying as a integrity constraint error. Okay, okay, that is something what 1006 you are trying to insert it salesman ID, but in salesman table that salesman ID is not there. Okay, so it means that salesman itself is not there, and you are saying as a 1006 salesman ID, whoever is there is who will serve this customer. Okay, so it will never happen. So like that. Okay, so here what first salesman should be there, so that is nothing but entry should be there in salesman table, then only you can insert it. Okay, so here, okay, so what we'll do is just we'll execute all the things, so whatever we have. Okay, so here are executing all those things. Okay, so while entering maybe you will not feel that much problem, so because this is the integer type, these are the varchar, this is also integer, and this is the referred from salesman table. Okay, so whatever data type is there in salesman table, automatically it will take care. So then we'll go for next one, that is orders. Okay, so in orders, if you saw, two things are referred from different table, that is first. Okay, so let's see, there was copy. Okay, so here if you saw in orders, customer ID is referred, okay, and salesman ID is referred. So these two things are referred from these two different tables, that is salesman table and customer table. So first one, customer ID, so whatever you are entering it, you have to make sure that it should be there in customer table. So like whatever we saw here, one error. Okay, so to avoid that kind of things, okay, so whatever we saw it here, to avoid that kind of things, what you have to do, whatever you want to insert inside a orders table, so you have to make sure that customer ID whatever you are inserting, so that should be there in customer table first. Okay, and salesman ID whatever you are inserting, that should be there in salesman table. Okay, so these things you have to take care. So by seeing those things, I have listed some values. Okay, and if you saw here, one more thing is we have a different data type, that is a date here. So normally, whenever you have as a varchar or character type, you will write it in single quote. Okay, integer or float values, narrative will write the numeric values. Okay, so here we have the date data type. So whenever we have date data type, so what we will do is always will give keyword as a date before inserting the actual value. Okay, so here before inserting the actual value, we are giving the keyword date. Okay, then actual value we are giving it. So why we are giving this keyword is, so whenever we will give in single quote, always system will think as this is a character. Okay, so to make the difference between date data type and character, so we are giving the keyword as a date. So after that, whatever will come in single quote, it will consider as a it's a data type of date. Okay, so this one we are giving here. So now we'll execute these things. Okay, so all rows are created. So now we will go for queries. So whatever queries you have given here, so these 5 queries, so corresponding to those 5 queries, and how to execute those queries, we'll see it. Okay. So first one is count the customer with grades above Bangalore's average. Okay, so we're saying as a count the customers. Okay, so customer you have to count it, so how many customers are there. Okay, so that is with grades above Bangalore's average. So first what we have to do is we should require Bangalore's average first, we required. So that is nothing but here whatever we given, that is in customer table. Okay, so Bangalore city. Okay, so we have entered for 3 things. Okay, so by seeing these queries only, I have inserted like this values. Okay, so 3 things minimum, so then only we can get the average. If only one is there, means we will get only one that value only particularly. We should not make like that. Actually, we should have more than one, then only you can calculate the average. So depending on these things, I have given the different values. So now if you saw here, by seeing this query. So we required not only as a Bengaluru as a only once, we required minimum twice. Okay, so more than 2 times you can give it. Okay, so here I have given as a 3 times. Okay, so that is grade is there as a 3 4 3. Okay, so what will be the average? I think average will come as a 3.3 here it will come. Okay, so that is the average will come. So now you have to check so customers with grades above Bangalore's average. So above 3.3, who all are the customers that we have to list it. Okay, so here if you saw above Bangalore's how many customers are there. Okay, so average Bangalore's average how many customers are there. So if you saw here this is a 1, this is a 2, okay, 2, then this one also 4. Okay, so total 1 2 3 are there. Okay, so total because here 1 this is 2, okay, 6 5 and 4. So these 3 customers has the uh, grade above the Bangalore's average. Okay, so here we have to display actually as per our database. In this one we have to display as a value as a 3. Okay, so first we will see how to calculate the average of Bangalore's. Okay, so that is nothing but what we have to do is we have to write here as a select, then we want average. So okay, this is not actual query answer, this is the part of query answer what we are going with. Okay, so average of what we want, grade. So whatever we given data type. Okay, so there is a grade only we have given name grade from. Okay, so which table this grade is there in customer table. Customer table, okay, from customer. Okay, so in that, okay, so where condition is city should be Bangalore, P equal to single quote inquiry inserting, we have inserted, okay, B as a capital. Okay, so if we given small letter B here, okay, so that time it will not identify because inside a single quote or inside a double quote values are case sensitive. Okay, so here we given this one B as a capital, so here also I have to give as a B as a capital only. Okay, so then only it will match it. So just I will see the spelling. Okay, B N G A L O I. Okay, same we given. So this is, we'll run it. So we got the average as that is 3.3. 3.333. So 3.3 normally we will consider it. Okay, so above this whole are there that we have to calculate it. So manually we checked that is 4 5 and 6 above that are there. Okay, so there is a total count is 3 we have, so that we have to display it now. So what we'll do is just this query will use as a internal purpose. Okay, so whatever is there this query, so this one, this is the part internal purpose we'll use it. So whatever you are getting, this is considered as just one number only now. Resultant whatever we are getting is just number. So one more query will write it, that is nothing but how many count we want. Okay, so that count we'll write it. So here I will write it the star, or you can give any primary key attribute also, there is no problem. Okay, so here select count star will be given, there is nothing but all rows we are considering it from. So again grade is there in actually. So here what consider how many people are there, how many counts we have above the Bangalore average grade. Okay, so here again we have to compare with the grade only. So this table only I required. Okay, so this table only will give from customer okay, where grade is greater than actually 3.3. So this is the what we calculated. Okay, so maybe after some time you will insert some values, so that time this grade may be changed. Okay, so that's why what we have to do is you have to view this entire query only here. Okay, so automatically it has to calculate. Okay, so just, okay, so automatically it has to calculate and it has to identify it. Okay, so that is entire query it has to kept here. So we are getting count as a 3. Okay, so this like this you have to do it. So it's nothing but first whatever inner one we required that we calculated. Okay, then so whatever our answer is there, so that we are calculating. So instead of here directly giving values, that is manually, so we have to write that entire query here. So this one we'll call it as a normally one query. This is nothing about what you are calculating it. Okay, so this normally in we'll say as this is the inner query, this one is the outer query. Okay, because in this query you are running one more small query. Okay, so whatever there inside first it will execute, there is the inner query. So outside whatever is there, that's the outer query. Okay, so normally we'll call these things. Okay, and then we'll see for second one. So here find the name and number of all salesmen who had more than one customer. Okay, so name and number is nothing but how many customers they have. Okay, so that we want. Okay, so name and number of all salesmen. Okay, so that is all salesmen who had more than one customer. Okay, so for that what we required is two tables we require. Okay, so that is nothing but salesman name and number required. The name and total number will display it. Okay, so that is then we have more than one customer means it has to this is there in customer related information is there in customer table. Okay, so those two tables we have to join it. So for joining purpose we require two tables, and while joining you have to give in where clause. Okay, so what all things primary and foreign keys are there, those you have to match it. Okay, so here if you saw you are taking customer table and salesman table. Okay, so two things you are taking it. So then we are giving join operation. Okay, so that is something but here what we are doing is just we saw first which are tables we require, that is customer then salesman. Okay, to join these two things we'll give which all attributes are common in between these two tables, that is a primary key and foreign key concept that will give it. So here we are giving for customer c instance we are giving it. Okay, so c dot salesman id should be equal to here salesman yes we given as an instance, there is a kind of rename. Okay, so yes dot salesman. So what will happen here, this is a join operation will happen. So if we are not given this condition, what will happen, Cartesian product of these two tables will happen. So actually we have to do the join operation, so that's why here we are giving this condition. Okay, so this will happen the join. Okay, so what all things we required is here we required the salesman uh, name and id. Okay, so we required salesman name and id we required it. So what we'll do is just first salesman name, for that purpose salesman name is there in salesman table, that is yes dot name. Okay, salesman id we required, so that is yes dot salesman id will give it. So then he's saying is a it's a custom okay, so he's not asked actually this id, so we are giving this id. So why we are giving that, we'll see it later. Okay, so he asked there's a name and number of all the salesmen. So this is a name, so how many counts he have. Okay, so this one we are printing it. Okay, so then what we have to do is first for this salesman, so how many counts are there, that you have to identify it. So how we will do is you have to group it. Okay, so that is you have to group it by this salesman id. So for the salesman how many customers are there, so how will group it, you have to group it by this salesman id. So then how many customers are there, that you will get the count. Okay, so for that purpose what we are doing is just group by clause we are using it. So here we use that is a group by clause, that is such keyword. Okay, so this is the keyword group by we'll use it. So group by, then actually what we have to do is with respect to salesman id only we require. Okay, so we don't require by name. Okay, if you did by with respect to salesman id it will be enough. Okay, so salesman id because it's a primary key, so name may be repeated one. Okay, so we should not use it normally. Okay, so salesman id if you are using it, so yes dot salesman id, so it's fine. So just we'll execute this one and we'll see what will happen. Okay, so normally we'll get the error. Okay, so why we'll get the error, then we'll discuss it. Okay. So here if you saw, it's not a group by expression. Okay, so something is coming as a star mark, select yes dot name. So for that attribute it's saying as a star mark, that is error is group, that is not a group by expression. Okay, so what it's saying is, so whenever you are grouping, so whatever display you want, that display should be one of this group by item only. Okay, this is what error you are getting it. So as per query we required name. Okay, so here we have to display the name. Okay, so this is the count. Okay, so this is just number, so it will not give any error for that, because it's a count of whatever you are doing it, one attribute, that is a primary key you are given. Maybe you can give as a star also, no problem. Okay, so here count just it is a number, for that it will not display anything. So whenever you are giving name, there's a particular attribute, so this attribute should be there inside a group by expression, it will say it. So for because of this one, what we are doing is, here since it is not required while grouping, this name is not required, so we are adding that one also. Okay, so here we are adding. The main intention of this one adding is here is nothing but, if you are not given here, so our SQL query, so if you are executing that time, it will give the error. Okay, because whatever you are displaying which is not there in group by. Okay, so for that purpose here you have to group it. Okay, then you can just display it here. Okay, so that's why we're adding here. So this is what we did is just grouping purpose. And after that what you have as condition is, we had more than one customer actually. Okay, so he have restriction as customer should be more than one. So for that purpose what we'll use is having command we will use. Okay, so having clause, this clause will use it. So having this a keyword, then this count, how many count should be there, that's we are checking it. Okay, so here you are giving the condition, so count of salesman id should be greater than 1. Okay, so this if salesman id is greater than 1 is there, means it is nothing but, so he has more than one customers here. Okay, so there is a repeated how many times it is repeating, that we are checking it. Okay, so this is greater than 1 or not, we are checking it. Maybe it's instead of 1, if it is 2 is there, just you will replace here by 2, so whatever number you will give it. So this we saw. Okay, so again we will execute partially, so if that error will go or not. Okay, so for that purpose we'll see it. Okay, so here if you saw, we're getting this one. Okay, so now we're getting it, so salesman. Okay, so that is 5. If you saw whatever we inserted, okay, so 5 things we inserted, those 5 all were listed here. Okay, so all 5 listed. So how many counts we have? Okay, that count also is listed. Okay, so Mahesh has 4. Okay, that is sorry, Mantesh. Okay, here if you saw, he has 4 customers, 1 2 3 4, 4 customers he has in customer table. So like that it's listed already. Okay, so but our intention is not only this much, taking how many customers they have, so along with that you have constraint as a more than one customer should be there. So you have to list as a only Mantesh, and last one is Raj. Okay, so we'll give this having condition. So this one will run it. Okay, so it will display so name of that customer and so salesman id also it will list it. Okay, so both it will list it. Now we'll go for next one. Okay, so list all the salesmen and indicate those who have and don't have customers in their cities. Okay, so it's something we are saying as a, so salesman and customer who all are there in same city also, not there in same city also. It means all things you have to display it. Indirectly is asking for all the things you have to display, because maybe they will be there in same city or in different city. Okay, only 2 conditions will be there. Okay, so he is asking both actually. Okay, so intention of this query is actually to study the union operation, because in slab scope he strictly mentioned as a, you have to use union operation. Okay, so to frame that want to make this you people know as a how to use the union operation, he given this query. So here indirectly we'll list all the things whatever are there, so we'll list all the things. Okay, so first what we'll do is, so in union operation whenever you are using it, so union first side one table will be there with some data type. Okay, here also same kind of table will be there. Okay, you can give the different table, okay, but same data type should be there. Okay, so here in this side whatever we are getting the answer, it's will consider the temporary table whatever we will get it with two things. There is a two columns, that is name and salesman id. So same thing here also we have to get it this side, that is a name and salesman id. Two things we are getting it, name is matching, salesman id is matching. Okay, just now here. Okay, so what is the condition is salesman and customer. Okay, so those two things Cartesian product we have to, sorry, join operation we have to do it. Okay, so here, so he is asking for list all the salesmen and indicates those who have their same cities. Okay, so what we are doing is salesman name and salesman id we are displaying it. Okay, if you want only name also you can display, or only id you can display it, because he is not mentioned anything particularly. Okay, so salesman related information we have to display it. Just we will display as this name and salesman id also. Okay, both we are displaying it. Same thing here also, salesman id, salesman name will display it. Okay, so salesman name and id we are displaying. So Cartesian product we are doing here first to avoid spurious tuples, we are doing the join operation. So this is the join operation, we'll do it. Then condition is, so first who have in same city. So same city in the sense here salesman dot city is equal to customer dot city. So this part will give, so customers and salesmen whoever are there in same city. Okay, so same thing will repeat it. So instead of here equal to, we'll say as a not equal to. Okay, so here not equal to is like greater than and less than symbol. Okay, so sometimes some Oracle or MySQL which are software you will use it, you may feel this one also. Okay, it is not equal to symbol. Okay, so this is also allowed, no problem. Okay, so but when SQL started, they started with this symbol, so I'm using this symbol. Okay, so depending on software you can use any of these two symbols. Okay, it is not equal to. So here you are saying as it's not equal to these two. Okay, that is salesman city and customer city, both are not same. Okay, then you are using the union operation. So then you have to display it. So here first we'll display this partial output. So what all things are there, that is, so here, so these, okay, salesman name and salesman id we're displaying it. So Raj, Ravi, okay, Matesh, okay, and Pawan. Okay, they have city name with the customer city name, both are same. Okay, so remaining here those who will be not having it will come at same thing. Okay, so both together just will display it. Okay, so here we are displaying it. So there is a all five will come. That's why we discussed this salesman and customer, maybe they will there in same city or different city. Okay, so when you all will come here. Okay, salesman name and salesman id all will come. Okay, so but intention of this query is to study the union operation. Okay, so here we are displaying the union operation. So next one. Okay, so here create a view that finds the salesman who has the customer with the highest order of the day. Okay, so for a particular day. Okay, so create a view he is asking. Okay, so we have to create the view. Okay, so find the salesman. Okay, that finds the salesman who has the customer with the highest order of the day. Okay, so we have to create a salesman for the salesman, that is salesman name and salesman id will display it. Okay, for the customer for a particular one day, highest amount he should have it. Okay, so what we'll do is here this is the for the creating view. So we have as a create view. Okay, so then view name. Okay, as then after that query. Okay, that is here we have to just create view. Okay, any name you can give it. So just I have given as a v underscore name. Okay, so view name. So any name you can give it. Okay, then view as, then here actually SQL query you have to write it. Okay, so this is what view will create it. Okay, so just you saw here we given something as a replace also. Okay, or replace. So what we are doing is here, so create space or replace we are using it. So what is this is nothing but we are trying to create it. If it is not there, it will create, or already if it is there with same name. Okay, so if it is already there with this name, so it will replace it. So already whatever is there in that will replace with new query. So whatever now we are going to write it, that new SQL query, that query, by that query it will replace it. Okay, so same thing we are doing it. So here what we did is create or replace. Okay, so that we given. So after that we are saying as a view keyword, that was view keyword whatever we had. Okay, then view name. So here, okay, so view name. So this is what we going to say, view salesman. Okay, and then highest order. Okay, that's like this I have given. So you can give different kind of name also. Okay, so it's left to you how you want to give the name. Okay, so that you can give it. Then as, okay, then query. So this is the query we have written. So what is this query, how to write this query, we'll see it now. Okay, so this is the view we have to write it. So here what we are doing is just, okay, so he given as a salesman who has the highest order. Okay, so order if you saw, so if there in order table. Okay, that is, then amount also is there. Okay, so that attribute, amount attribute is second purchase amount, second attribute. Okay, so order, after order number, so these are the amount. Okay, and particular date also is there. Okay, so okay, so here we will take this order. Okay, so table, we require order table because we required that is a highest order per day. Okay, that is a, for particular day, it is the highest order that we required it. So that for that purpose order table we required it, and we have to display the salesman information. Okay, so here we will, what we'll do is salesman table we'll use it. So two tables we are using, it means you have to do the join operation of these two tables, otherwise unwanted result you will get it. So what we are doing is o dot salesman id. Okay, because salesman table salesman id is there, and yes table, that is a salesman table salesman id is there. Okay, so these two things we are using it, and you are performing the join operation. Okay, so here join operation of these two tables we are doing it. Okay, then whatever thing is there, that is a purchase amount. Okay, so here purchase amount, so maximum whatever is there, that purchase amount we will consider it. Okay, so in this resultant whatever purchase amount is there, that we will consider. So before that what we have to do is, so here is the highest order of the day he is asking. Okay, so for particular day highest order, so what we'll do is just highest order will take it. So how we'll take this is, first select max, we are taking the purchase amount. So if you saw here purchase amount, so whatever purchase amount is there, for that we are taking it. Okay, so purchase amount, so maybe 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or 5,000, whatever is there, in that maximum we are taking it. Okay, so then for a day he told, but which day he are not told. Okay, so if you saw here, maybe same day is there. Okay, and some different days are also there. Okay, so if you saw here 6th month, that is June month 28th. Okay, so 4 orders are there. July month 1 order is there. Okay, so here May 1 order is there. Again here June 18th 1 order is there. So like that. So he is not given anything differently, particular date he is not given it. So what we will do is will identify for all the day. Okay, so there is a, whichever order we got it in that highest order, highest amount will identify it. So for that purpose, from here orders tables, so what we are doing is group by order date we are doing it. So if you did as a order date, so it is order date, so date whatever will come here. So for that, if it is common is there, just we'll group it. So like this, so if we have as a common here, so 4 things are common, for this we'll group it. So in this what is maximum, that will extract. So in this maximum is 8,000. So for this day maximum is 10,000 for this day. There is a maximum 3,000. Just in different day, it's a maximum is 1,000 rupees only. So those will take it. So here, just internal query, I will run it first. So here, if you saw, so for one particular date, okay, so that date we are not displaying it. Okay, so if you want, you can display for inner query. So here, it's a date. Okay, then what is the actually maximum amount? Okay, so 1,000 rupees, 3,000, 8,000, and 10,000. Okay, so just now we saw same thing. Okay, so here, so this is a common for this 8,000 is there, for this one 10,000 is there, 3,000 is there, plus 1,000 is there. Total 4 different dates we have it. Okay, so 4 different orders we got it. Okay, so now this the maximum purchase amount is there in this one. So in this one, whatever we'll do is just will display particular date. So whichever date we got it, then that salesman ID, then this is the name of the salesman. Okay, this thing, next it. Somewhere we missed it. Semicolon came. Here, this is twice semicolon came. That's why we got the error. Okay, so here this is nothing but just we given as a here once. So now we got this one. Okay, so this is the information. This is actually our query, only query. Okay, but we are not still created the actually are not created the view. Okay, so what we have to do is just you have to run this one. Okay, this entire thing, create view. Okay, so create view. This one you have to run it. So if you executed this one, if you saw, just will you get as a view created. Okay, so what is this meaning is this is considered as this query frequently we ask. Okay, so instead of running this every time this query, so what we'll do is this query will keep as a something as a renamed one and will keep it. Okay, so there are two ways of implementation of views. So that is nothing but whatever query is there, this entire query just will come as a one more name only. Okay, then second one is materialized view. Okay, so in materialized view what will happen is, so whatever this query you have executed, so first time whenever we will get the data, okay, so that time this query result will be stored in RAM instead of your database only. So every time no need to go to the database, calculate these all things, okay, and give the result to the user. So what it will do is it will keep the result in RAM only. So if again same query is asked from the RAM only, it will give the result, it will not see the database only. Okay, so for that purpose we have some advantages also and disadvantages also. Okay, those who have already studied in the theory class. Okay, so here now just we have created the view. Okay, so now just what we'll see is we'll display the what is the result. So again here, so we have to consider this view as a normal one table only. So select star from this table name we are giving it. Okay, so then we'll get the result. Okay, so here we are doing is just we are displaying it. Okay, so if you have this one is a, so it will display the same result. So previously whatever query we executed, same thing it will display it. Okay, then last one, so demonstrate the delete operation by removing salesman ID with 1,000. Okay, so all his orders must also be deleted. Okay, so this is the query. He is saying as a salesman ID you have to remove it, then whatever order he given, that also you have to be removed. Okay, so whenever you are creating the table, okay, so if you given as a on delete cascade, okay, so while creating the table and whichever your attributes are referring it, so if you given as a on delete cascade you keyword, so whenever you are deleting from the salesman, that is the base table whatever will be there, if you are deleting from that any row, so automatically wherever it is referred it will delete automatically. Okay, so that is considered as a, this one only salesman 1000. Okay, so this is a salesman 1000. If I remove this one, okay, if you saw, we're referring in this table, customer table also, and in order table also, we're referring here. Okay, so these two things, rows are referring here. So if I deleted salesman ID of 1000 here, so automatically it will delete these three and this one also, if we are using while creating the on delete cascade keyword. Okay, so this one. So here Oracle 11G is not supporting this one. So what we have to do is manually we have to delete it. So okay, so when deleting, always first whichever is independent is there, that you have to delete. So that thing, but here, so if I am trying to delete here, so depending on these things, these values are dependent. Okay, so this is a has the dependency. So I can't, if I deleted here, what will happen here, some inconsistency will happen. That is a salesman 1000 is not there, but we are saying as a, for this customer 5001, okay, salesman 1000 will serve it. Okay, so like that we are saying it. Okay, so this will make the inconsistent. So what you have to do is, whichever independent is there, so these tables you have to delete first. Okay, these tables entries you have to delete first, then in salesman table you have to delete it. So these two, and here these three rows you have to delete it, then you can delete this one. Okay, that is a, what we were seeing as a, in while creating the table, whatever will follow the order, reverse of that will follow in while deleting it. Okay, so salesman we created first, customer we created second, orders we created third, like that. No, so reverse of this one will do it. That is, orders we have to do it, then customer, then salesman. If customer and orders are independent to each other, so you can perform any in any order, these two. Okay, so like that. Okay, so here while deleting, so first what we'll do is, in orders table, okay, so in orders table first we'll delete it. Okay, so whatever is there in first order tables will delete it. Okay, so before doing this one, just okay, so directly we'll try to delete it from salesman table only, and we'll see what will happen. Okay, so that is we have to get the error actually. Okay, so okay, so here we are getting the error, that is integrity constraint violated, child record. Okay, so you are trying to delete something, so from this one some other tables are referred, so you will get the error. Okay, so if on cascade keyword is used while creating the table, it will not give this one, so automatically it will delete it. It depends on the whichever software you are using it. Okay, so here in Oracle 11, that on cascade one delete cascade is not supported. That's why we're deleting three things separately. Okay, so it's deleted first in orders, now in customers. Now if I'm trying to delete in salesman, so whatever we did here, okay, so we'll not get any error, so we can delete it. So these are the 5 queries in our experiment number, lab experiment number 2. Okay.